Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Alejandro Perez, the CGI Nerd, and in this video we're going to be going over how to create an Apex rig for an FBX character that we imported into Houdini. I'm using the same process that is in the documentation inside of the side effects website for creating an Apex character rig, so I'll add that down in the description for you guys to follow as well. Let's get started. Okay, so here inside of Houdini I have the character that I'm going to be working with. It's already skinned and it has a skeleton and everything. We're just going to build the control for that rig inside of Apex here. And the tutorial we're going to be, or the documentation for this tutorial is on the Houdini website. I'll add it as a link on the description below. But this is essentially the process that we're going to be going through. I'm going to put it on my second monitor and kind of follow it. But I've already done this a couple times, and I know that there are a couple areas where there's going to be a little bit of an issue, but I'll point them out when we get there. So we have the character. Let's set up the character here. This character is from Real Illusion. I brought it in from Character Creator. It looks a little weird because it's all shadowy. It's like a material issue. So if you go in and create a color node and connect this, then we have a color node here. And then inside of Real Illusion, I deleted any parts of the mesh that were hidden beneath close, and you can see the points here. If we add a clean node, we should get rid of all that. So we have a clean character here. If you have a character that comes in already clean, you can just use this direct input here. But here I'm going to use this output here. So let's go ahead and do a null node. And the null node here is going to be a, just so that way we can use it as the out point for our geometry. Because when we put it into the back folder, I found that if you change anything on the node that's directly connecting into it, it starts breaking things. But if you change it anything above, then we're good. So we'll say this is our out character geo, and then let's create a couple more, and this one is going to be our character skeleton, and this one is going to be our guides. Okay, so if we connect this into the capture pose up here, and let's look at the output on this one, you'll see that the rig looks mostly okay, but there's things like the eyes and the head and the jaw that are disconnected, whereas when we look at the animated version here, it's all parented together, which is kind of what we want. There's no animation on this, so I can directly use this, but if you did have some animation, you can do something like a rig stash pose, and then use the capture pose for the pose, and I connect the wrong one. This is the skeleton we want to use, and then the capture pose is going to be this one, and then down here we can connect this out here. So we have the pose of the skeleton, and this is the pose source, and then this is the animation. I know, because I've done it, that it's going to work with the animation rig here, so I'm just going to directly connect it into the animation pose. So I have that. But if you had like animation on this third input, you can do that stash pose trick and it will lock it all into place. Okay, so now we need to do a pack folder. And all three of these are going to go into the pack folder. Inside of the pack folder, we have the first one. It's going to be base, capital B, ASE, and then SHP for the shape node. And the casing is important. You can change it if you wanted to, but then like all the nodes, their defaults are not set up with the new naming conventions. So if you just want to use the naming conventions inside of Houdini, you want to do this. So that is the first input, which is a geometry node. The second one is going to be the skeleton. So, and this is just telling it what the skeleton is. We can do base, and then over here do SKEL. And then this third input, it's going to be guides. And it is also skeleton. And I typed in the previous ones, but you can also go in here and say, hey, this is a skeleton. And it goes in that way. Okay, so I have all this set up. And one more node we're going to need is a attribute adjust array. And this is where we're going to start adding tags for things that we're going to need. So we are good with that. Let's move on to the Apex setup. So the first thing we're going to do is set up a Apex auto rig component. And within the auto rig component, we're going to switch this over to transforms. So FK transform. There we go. And we should have it set up here. There's a little bit of an issue. So if I push enter on the numeric keypad on my keyboard or push this button here, I'll go into animation mode. And we can see that the controls are here, but they're not visible the way we would expect them to be. And that is because when I brought in this FBX character, it converts the units, so it makes it very small compared to what it came in. So if you look at the scale, it's really huge here. So if we convert the units down and we use it here, we're much better. So basically this is converting it by 100. So if we actually want to see the controls here, we have to make the controls much bigger. And we can go into the shape here, 100, 100, 100, there you go. So now we have all of the controls visible, and you can select it and rotate it and whatnot. Okay, then the next setup that we're going to go through is adding the bone deform. So it's going to be an Apex auto rig component. Oops. Okay, jumping into here, we're going to switch this into a bone deform. Okay, so I have now, if I take the joint and I bend it, it's going to be deforming the geometry. Okay, so now that we have that, let's take a look at setting up the spine. So with the spine, what we're going to be doing is setting up the spine tags, and that's going to be on the attribute adjust array. It's going to be over here, and let's visualize that. And then we're going to change this node here to be based off of points. Now we can see our skeleton, and then the joints that are going to be part of it are here. And then I'm going to push A on the keyboard here, and I'm going to say these are spine, capital S-P-I-N-E. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to go here and add another auto rig component. And inside of this auto rig component, we can switch it over to spline. So I've tried both, and the tutorial or the controllers are spline controllers here. Those are huge. So that's interesting. Weird. Oh, I think it's just because the character is not visible. Okay. So spline and driven, and I mistyped it where it should be spline instead of spine. And then we're going to need the spline root and the spline tip. So let's go back over here. And now we can see this. Let's visualize it too. And over here, instead of spine, I'm going to call it spline. And then let me see this node really quick. I want to see, yeah, they're under, not capitalized. So this is going to be the, if I push A here, spline underscore root. And then this one is going to be the spline tip. Oops. A, and instead of root, we're going to say tip. There we go. Okay, and then let's look at the auto rig component again. There we go. And to make this a little bit easier on us, under controls, I'm going to turn off the FK controls right now because we're activating all of the rotation groups. There we go. And then now if we go here, we can't see the controls again. So let's take these and make them much bigger. And now we can see the controls. That moves the whole body. Okay. And then we have this one. If we rotate, you'll see kind of how it works. So it's all good. If I go off and come back, it should reset because we're not animating anything. There we go. Okay, so we have a spine set up here. And eventually, what I want to do with the FK is only have the FK visible that I actually want to use. So I'll set up some FK controls later on, but let's set up all of the rest of the body for right now. And let's name these so that way it's easier to find out what they are. So this is our bone deform. This is our spline. Okay, so after the spline, we're going to set up an IK system. So I'm going to add another auto rig component here. And this is going to be our IK. And we have to switch this over to multi-IK. And for the multi-IK, we have to set up the names for the driven. So we can see that it's looking for leg right now, but we can do arm at the same time. So what I'm going to do is jump back up here to our array and decide what is the leg. So that's going to be the leg for my character, and I'm going to push A here, and this is going to be my left underscore leg. And then I'm going to go here, push A. This is going to be my R underscore leg. Okay. Before we do the arms, let's just take a look at what we get here. And again, the controls are super tiny, so we can go to shape and underscale. Just multiply it by 100. And then you can see that we have our pull vector, our hip control, our leg control, and that's done for both sides. And then here with the root control, if you move it, you'll see that it moves our IKs automatically because it's looking for the tag. So if we look over here under tags, it's created its own spline tag here. And then if we jump over here, the parent is main, that's fine. Bind. I know it's driving it somewhere. It's okay. I don't need to find it right now, but that is automatically connected with the Apex auto config. So let's set up the arms. So if we look at the IK control right here, it's looking for underscore arm, but leg, or star, or wildcard leg. We can add a star arm, and then now we can set up our arms. So I'm gonna go here, and then we have the shoulder, elbow, wrist, and shoulder, elbow, wrist, except that I'm going to do one at a time because I want to be able to differentiate them from left to right. So this is going to be L underscore arm. And then this is going to be R underscore arm. There we go. So let's take a look at our IK setup here. And now we have controls for our arms. Okay. So let's take a look at setting up an IK-FK blend for our system now. So I'm going to go here and do another Apex auto rig component. And visualize that, go here, and I am going to do IK-FK blend. Okay, and we can see the segments that it's looking for is underscore, wildcard arm and wildcard leg, but they're lowercase. So if we put this in an uppercase, like how we tagged them, we should be good. There we go. So now we have controls. These are the items that transform it, and also the scale is going to be kind of small, but I'll show you in a minute. So there it's going to FK and from IK. So right now, if I go ahead and select this, yeah, not selecting it good. There we go. It's IK driven. And then if I select this and go, now it's FK driven. There is a control here, and we can see that it is FK driven. It's just really small. And in here, we can adjust the scale of the abstract control, but that is not helpful because, at least for those FK controls, because they're kind of like locked into place. What I do kind of like to do, though, is make them smaller. So let's put them at 0.3. At least for this character. And then this is kind of its default position, and we can offset it. The problem is that we would have to do it for each individual one, one at a time. So we would have to have multiple of these. And when I did kind of a full version, I ended up doing that. So using this offset, if you look at it, if I offset it on the X, they're all going to move that way, rather than being relative to their parts. So I'm not going to break it up. I'm going to follow the documentation right now just to show you kind of a walkthrough. But if you did wanted that extra control, create an individual IK-FK blend for each one of the elements. And then, or we can do it in the configure controls node too. I might actually do that this time. We'll do it in that way. But you're still going to have to control them each one individually. Okay, and on here we can see that we have a list of FK controls that were created. Like, here's a thigh one. Oops. Boom. Oh, it's not seeing them because I didn't transition it to the FK setup. So there. Oh, that was the right side that I fixed it for. Boom. So now we have the FK control there. Okay, so this is going to be our IK FK blend. Okay, so after the IK FK blend, we are going to have the reverse foot. And when I went through this, I couldn't get it done. I sent it over to side effect support, and they looked at it and they ended up sending it over to the development team to try to work on it. I haven't gotten a response yet, but I needed to get this video out for my class, and I wanted to show you. And I can show you the issue. Maybe you guys can figure out what's going on and how to fix it. But let's take a look at what's going on here. Let's do a auto rig component. And this is going to be our reverse foot. Okay, so now that we have that, we have to set up a few tags. We have to go up here. And both of these are going to be the L foot. So L underscore foot. And this is going to be the R foot. Okay, and then we don't have to differentiate right and left for this one with the way the documentation writes it. So we do ankle. And this is going to be ball. And then they do have a setup to create the toes coming out in front, and I found that it didn't fix my problem, but let me show you what we got first. And they said that if you don't create the toe joint, even though if you don't have a toe joint like in this one, that the auto rig component will create it automatically for you. And it works almost all the way. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Let's go on and do a reverse foot. Boop. Okay, so it's looking for star foot, except that mine was capitalized, so we'll do that. And this is exactly what happens. So it kind of works. We can select that, and you can see that we have the tilting effect, but my toe is quite wonky there. I did notice that we can do the toe pivot there. And the toe pivot is kind of offset at the root of the toe here. But these are also offset, so these controls should be the pivoting of them. So this one should be on the left side. So we can go to the offset here. And they're actually going to go to the other side. There we go. And then this one is going to go, it's too big of an increment, kind of over on this side, and then I'm gonna put it like this. So what we should be getting is a movement like that, and then this one will be the other side. And then this one is the toe tip where we're supposed to be running from the toe. And let's see, you can see that we have the toe attribute here, and it's blank, and it just creates it for us. The toe up is the direction, and part of the thing that I thought that maybe we would work on is like if I change the direction of the toe up, maybe it would fix it, but it really didn't. So let's look at the suggestion of adding the toe joint to our setup. So let's go over here, and we're going to do a attribute rig VOP. And the first input's going to go there. Second input, no second input, but we're going to go there. And then we have the create tags over here. Okay, so on this one here, let's jump into the Vex builder for that VOP. And what we're going to do is get point transforms. And then the point by number, we can do by name. And then right now the $OS is basically getting us the name from here. So we need to know what the name of this joint is here, and it is ball_L, and we can verify that here in the geometry spreadsheet. It's going to be, I guess, there we go, bar_L. Okay, so ball_L. Okay, so we get the transform, and then we're going to do an add joint. And on this one, we're going to call it, because the name's going to get it from the name here because of the $OS. So we're going to say toe_L. Okay, and then let us do a offset transform, and then we're going to connect the PT_num to the parent over on this side, and then the X transform to the X transform here. Then on this node, you can kind of see what's going on there. And then we're going to connect this to the X transform here. Okay, so we've set it exactly directly right where it is, but we can transform this in the proper direction. There we go. So I'm just going to set it up 10 units like that. Okay, so I'm going to take all of this and then hold down Alt and, let's try that again, Alt and drag. And here, instead of the L, we're going to do R. Instead of the L, we're going to do R. And then it creates another joint for us over on this side. Okay, so we create that, and then now when we go here to joint array, we can add this to the tag. So let's go down to the bottom, and we have the foot here. Let's add, can just copy this. We know what the name is now. And this is going to be toe underscore L. Oh, not L, R. There we go. That makes sense. And then I'm going to just copy this. And over on this side, put this. And then this is going to be L. Okay, so we have another joint there, and then we're going to need to label these toe. So here, toe, and here, toe. Okay, so now we can go down to the naming, or the reverse foot, and add those here. So it sees that there, but we can add this code here. Control C, Control V, and then this is going to be toe. And as soon as we do that, you can see that it flips over. And it is not looking at all the way we think it should be. And I mean, we can try flipping the nodes, but you can see that we still end up with the toes flipping upwards like that. But this position is better. It's right. We're just not getting the proper alignment of the toe once we do that. So that is the only issue. If you guys know how to fix this, I'd love to hear it. I don't know. I asked SideEffects, and they basically just sent it up the chain, and that was over a week ago. So I just wanted to get this video out, like I said, for my students, but if anybody can help me with this, that would be amazing. But now that we have the reverse foot, they have a look at constraint, and we could do that. Like, it has the head using a look at, which is a little weird. I can actually do the eyes as a look at, which is kind of cool. But I'm not going to set up a look at for this character right now. It's just not what I want to do right now. So yeah, let's do look at control. I'm gonna add a look, or sorry, not look at apex auto rig component. Oops. And in here we're going to switch this over to look at. And then we have this control here that is created, and right now nothing is going on with it. So let's take a look at setting up a system for this. So under driven, we have I underscore L, that's the driven. So let's take a look at the joint name for our joint here. And go into the geometry spreadsheet, and we have, where's our names? There we go, names. Boom, boom, boom. Have the head. CC base I. So I'm gonna, no, I can't copy that, but I know what it is now. But there should be a, yeah, here. CC base RI and CC base LI. So we can control those. In theory, we should be able to do it with a tag too. So let's try that. Let's go here and push A. This is going to be the L underscore I. And this is going to be the R underscore I. Okay. So here, we need the tag code, and I know we had it here, so let's copy this and see if it works with the tag. And then, boom. And then we can do, let's see if it works just with star I. And let's take a look at the shape and the scale. Let's make it much bigger. There we go. Now we have the controls. It did it for the left eye. If we look at the driven, this is left anyways. Okay, and then the look at axis right here is right in the eye. Let's push it forward. Where would that be? Z. So we end up with this control here, which lets us rotate the eye. And then we have this locator type control. And if we put this out here, right now it is in reverse, so let's put the up axis. I should really look that up. I think the up axis is going to be here. And the look at axis is actually the Y. And let's try positive 1Y. Negative 1Y. Okay, I have to go look at the orientation of the joints here. So if I go here, it's hard to see that, but if we do a rig pose, actually we can put it over here so that we can see it. So it's going to be negative Y and the up is Z. Okay. Okay, so the negative Y and the up axis is Z. It's like doing the reverse of what I want, because if we do that there, it is basically working now, just in the opposite direction. So it's looking at it, but in the reverse direction. Let's take a look at this. Actually, let's put it in the Y and see if that fixes it. Oh, and the up vector is wrong. So here we can see here. This is the up vector here. And if we select that, that should be kind of up here. Set this back to -1. There, and then let's select this one and pull it forward. Okay. Let's do that. Okay, maybe I was just grabbing the wrong control. Let's see if I put this at 1. So this is the look at control. Boom, boom, boom. Pull it forward, and then this is the up control. Cool. So if I put this at -1, then we are fine. So we have the look at control here. Push it forward, and then the up goes up here, and then you can start working with it that way. Let's see the settings. Up direction is Y. Target position, it's like 0.5. Let's make this like 50. And we can see that I moved it in the wrong direction. It should be this way. Oops, not 650, 50. -50. There we go. So that's right. And then the up direction is here. Let's 0 and then do 10. We'll do 50, so that way. Boom. Okay. So now we have this look at control. It's not going to be resetting, and it is working perfectly fine. The shapes, we already scaled it up. Oh, cool. So this is our L_I look at, and then I'm going to make another copy of this, and this is going to be our RI look at, and then let's go here with the name look at _L_I, and then that way we have a new name over here. This is going to be _R_I, and then under driven, we're going to change this to R. Now we have a right eye, but we need to rename all of these to R, so it creates all the controls as an R. And then tags, we don't have tags. And then the parent, we can probably set it to the head if you wanted to, or the root joint. But that should be set up. So we have the left eye. And then we have the right eye, but it's overwriting it. Oh, we have multiple setups. Okay. Let's delete that. And here we can go to look at. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to put this at what it was before, and under driven we have one setup, and we can add another one. And here we're just going to kind of do a similar thing. And this is going to be R. Whoa. Driver. Except that this is going to be R. And then the target. It's going to be R. And over here we have check, check, check. And then the eye up. You can probably do without turning on the controls for the eye up, but that is going to be and then this is going to switch over to R. And then we have to turn on that and that. And here we can see that this is working, except that it is inverted. So over here with the look at axis we have -1, and then the up axis 1 on the Z. So we can do that here, -1 and 1. And I don't really like these up, and it's good for like doing head tilt or something like that, but I'm actually going to turn off the up controls because that's just more getting in the way than anything. There we go. So now we have individual controls here. Boom. And boom. And they stack, so you can actually control this independently of that. Okay, cool. So now we can do the Apex configure controls, except that I do want to make sure that I have the actually, let's start off with the Apex configure controls, but I do want to bring in some of my FK controls. So I'm going to go here, do an Apex configure controls, and let's go in. And I'm going to add one. And then here for color, I'm going to make it all yellow to start off with. And actually, let's tone down this yellow. And over here it says not everything. I want to set it to everything. There we go. And then let's create another one. And here I'm going to put star underscore R. And then let's do color. And then for right, we're going to do red. And let's look at the list. Okay, so it's going to be actually capital R underscore star. There you go. So now we have the right hand side red controls. Although with the eyes we can see that we named them differently because that was the default. So here, let's do L underscore L underscore L underscore. And then on these, we're going to do R underscore. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can see that the right is colored appropriately. Let's add another one. And on this one, we'll do capital L underscore and star. And we're going to do the color. This is going to be a blue. Let's do that, and then boom. And it's blending into the background. Let's keep it all the way up. Okay, so now we have everything set up for center, right, and left. We can customize some of these controls, but I want to get our FK controls for what we need appropriate. Also, we do already have some FK controls for the IK FK blends, so let's add another one here. And then let's look at what they are called. So we have the, let's see. Like underscore FK foot. So that is the rotation, the FK for the leg. So let's see if we do underscore FK lowercase, what we get. And we need to put a star at the beginning. Okay, and then let's do a shape override. And then let's look at the shapes. We'll use circle wires. Actually, let's uncheck that. We'll bring it back because they were super tiny. So we're going to use this shape offset and scale these up by 100. There we go. And also, if we look at the casing for those, we have the lowercase L underscore, or underscore L underscore, and the R underscore underscore. So up here for the colors, what I can do is have here put a space and then put star underscore R underscore star. And then you can see that those get updated. And then over here, it'll be star L, or sorry, star underscore L star, or underscore star. There we go. Cool. So now we have all those colored properly. I do want to use the other shape. Boom. So let's turn that on. We have the circle wires. We can see that the axis is not quite what we want. So we can go into the, we can fix it there, but I want to see if we can fix it over here. We might not be able to. Okay, I'm just going to do it over here. So we have the rotate. Okay, so let's do 90 here. And that should give us everything that we need for each one of the controls for the FK. Now we need to add the clavicles and the head and the spline controls. Let's look at what they're named. Well, I'm going to change them to be... we'll do that in a minute. Let's get the controls that we want FK controls for. So here I am going to visualize this. And then I know that I want those. I want the neck. I want the head. And then I'm going to want all these fingers. All these. And I think that's it. So I'm going to push A, and then this is going to be my FK. Let's just do FK like that. Let's see if that works. So over here, we need the code for the tag. So I know we have it in the reverse fit, so let me steal that really quick. And then here, under controls, I'm going to push that, except that we're going to say it's FK. There you go. So all of those controls are going to be set up. And we will have access to them down here, along with everything else. These FK controls are not color coordinated, so let's take a look at what those are. So they are the _L. So it's not working because it doesn't have the underscore here. So let's put a space. We'll do _R, and it has to have a star at the beginning. Oops, not an 8, a star. There we go. And then the star _L. Cool. And then we have the center ones. Okay, so we're getting much, much closer. I'm cleaning up this here. So let's go here. We'll add another one. Let's start off with the head. I'm going to add a few. And then I'll work my way down, so that way I don't have to keep on scrolling up there. So we have something in here that would be head, I'm sure. Oh, I did not select the right one. So I have this one that is the neck. Let me go back up to this. And we have, let's visualize it. The neck. And then this is the base facial bone. So that's not one that I want. Can remove that. And then let's find the head. We can go in here and see if we can select that. It doesn't like that. Let me see. If I click on this. Okay, let me just find the name for the head. It's just easier to see it over here without anything else. We have to find the head. Have the jawbone, upper jaw, teeth, base. Head. It's just called head. Okay. So let's go in here and I'm gonna copy this and paste it and replace neck with head. It's just that there's two joints right on top of each other. That's what's causing difficulty there. Okay, so now we have the ability to go in here and affect the head. So we have head. Okay, and then shape offset. Yeah, I'm gonna need that, but I want to do the shape override also. So it doesn't have anything right now, but what I want is a box wires. There we go. And then I am going to translate it up. And then let's scale this. Okay, so now we should be able to select the head like that, and that works. Now I want to get these eye controls. And are these going to be underscore I underscore? Yep. And these are main. Okay, so the next one is going to be star I underscore, all lowercase. And main is also on lowercase. Main. And what I want to do is a shape offset on this. And what I'm going to do is scale this down. Okay, so now we should be able to select the eye and control it. These I want to also have be smaller because they're overlapping and it's confusing. And then do a shape override and scale it down. There we go. Now, the neck, I'm going to switch that over to be something else. Neck, star, shape override, and let's do this as a circle wire. And then let's do the shape offset, and I'm going to rotate this. There we go. So we have the neck. That looks good. And then we can have the feet controls. I like the way they are. That's okay. And the pivots, these are good. The only thing, like I said earlier, like the toe flipping up. I don't know what's up with that. Okay, so now let's take the pelvis here, and this is root underscore control. I need more. Let's say we add it up to 12. We can get rid of them if we don't need them. Okay, so what I want to do is do root underscore C. Is it just CTRL or? Yep. Okay, and then we can do a shape offset. Root underscore CTRL. Oh, I have a capital C. Boom. There we go. Now we can kind of make this here on the, let's do this 12. And then let's do 12. Make it maybe 10. 8. Cool. And then let's make this like 5. 3. There you go. So I have the control here. And then this is going to be the chest, which is called tip control. TIP underscore CTRL. And shape offset here. And let's scale it. And then I can move it up. Oops, not that far up. Something kind of like that. Let's put it 0.45. 0.4. 0.3. Okay. I think I'm happy with that. And then with these, we can leave them small if we wanted to for the kind of adjustments in the center, but your main adjustment should be done with these, and then these are to kind of like tweak. Boom. Okay, so with the fingers, let's change these because they're a little bit hard to read. So let's do index underscore star. And then let's do a shape override. And let's play around with some of the shapes. I think, what is it? Nope, not that one. Although that could be kind of cool. Just want to play around with. That's not what I want. There was. Yeah, let's do that one. Okay, and then we're going to do the shape offset. So I'm using the line B. What does the line blob? Nah. Okay. So now we can rotate it. Not sure which way. Not that way. Not that way. So it has to be this way. You can see that it does it opposite on the other side. So this is the left side. Let's look at what these the star underscore L. Boom. So now we are only doing the left side. And then I'm just going to recreate the other one for the other side. So we have middle, space, and pinky, ring, and space, paste. This is going to be the thumb. There you go. So we have all those. They're obviously too big. So let's scale this down. Okay. So now we can select the controls like that and get our FK setup going. Cool. I like that. Let's save. Okay. Now I'm gonna copy all of this and paste it here and change the L's for R's. Okay. Shape offset, we're going to put this at 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, and then this is going to be the opposite of this, so that's 90. We'll do negative 90. And also on the shape override, use the line B. You can use whatever control you want, but we have a control set up here for that. Okay, and I am close to be done. The only thing that I don't super like are these controls. So the position one, I want it to really kind of be offset and be positioned like that. But in order to do that, we're going to need to do that for each one individually. So arm IKFK blend underscore POS. And that means we're going to need 4 more. So we're at 12. Go to 16. Okay, so capital A, arm, IKFK underscore POS. And let's see, blend. And then how does it differentiate right and left? Oh, it has an, okay. Let's try this. We're gonna do L underscore arm star POS. Oops, I'm gonna put 8. Okay, and then we're going to do a shape offset. And then but the abstract's not going with it. Okay, let's try this with the abstract. ABST. Okay. And then now when we click on this, the position's still over here. That's not happy days. Okay, so if we want that positioned correctly, we're going to have to set up an individual blend for each one of them. So I'm going to get rid of these that we just created. Okay, so if we look at the IKFK blend, the settings, this is the position where we're going to offset it. The only problem is that we're going to have multiple of these now, so that we can offset it. I think I'm going to leave it here. We can create multiple of these. It's just a little bit more overkill than what I want right now. But I do want a root control. So over here above the bone deform, I'm going to do an apex auto rig component. Connect it here, and we're going to use a parent. Where is it? Transform parent, something like that. Transform driver. Use that. Okay, so driven is the root. And let's see what the control does here. Cool, because my joint is called root. So it automatically set it up. Okay. So now I have the root joint that is going to control the position for everything overall. The only other thing that I want to do is change the shape for this. So I'm going to set this up to be 13. And then we can go in here, and I'm guessing it's just called root. Let's try. Nope, main. Okay, so shape override. Let's try one of these circles. And shape offset. I'm gonna rotate this. There you go. And then we can scale this up. That's going to be its master control. There you go. Okay, I'm happy with this. Let's save my project, and I hope you found this useful. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.